Welcome to Insights to Strength. I'm your host, J Love, and this podcast was curated to remind you that you are not your circumstance. Join me as I encourage you through the Word of God, help you to identify your strengths, and vocally walk alongside you in purpose. Ba-da-da-ba-ba. Good evening, seekers. Happy Tuesday. Today is our very first Tuesday Thoughts for the year of 2024, and I'm excited to share with you all today. It's a little later than I would typically do it, but hey, it's a new year. Maybe the evening works for you better than it works for me, right? Maybe you're listening to this and you're actually settling down for the day or the night, and you know what? Needed something a little bit more relaxing and maybe a little bit entertaining. I don't know. Whatever your vibe is, I hope this meets you where you are, okay? So this year, it is my endeavor, okay, to take you all on a journey with me, to let you into my personality, right? For those that you are actually watching this in video form or virtual form, and into my life, right? Some of you only get my personality because you listen to me audio, and hey, I'm cool with that, okay? Thanks for being a subscriber. Thank you for being a seeker. Thank you for journeying with me thus far, right? But you will also learn, my intent is for you to also learn what I stand for, outside of my faith. You will learn about me. You'll learn about some of my friends and who I do life with. You'll learn about the causes that I support, what interests I have in, just et cetera, right? Just, on and on of those things. And why? Because honestly, this is something, that has been on my heart for quite some time, and I'm evolving, right, into me. Like, I am evolving in womanhood as, as a spouse. I have evolved as a sister. I am evolving as a big sister, just in so many just spaces in my life. How about that? I'll just leave it there. I have been evolving in a lot of spaces in my life, wholeheartedly, and can I say unapologetically? But I also want to bring you into my life a little bit deeper and into basically the behind the scenes parts of me, because for some time I've been wanting to share with you all the things that really prick my heart. Issues like mental health awareness, especially for men, things to do with special education and working with the differently able communities. Most recently, a passion of mine, or something that I've been delving into, has been economic development and things like addictions and the underlying causes of them. Like, those are the issues that prick my heart to no end. I even remember wanting to be an IOTA counselor, or AODA, it may be different depending on what region you're from, counselor. And because I had not, suffered from an addiction that, long-term addiction, I couldn't, they wouldn't hire me, or spaces wouldn't hire me. And I couldn't understand that, the reason behind that, honestly, although now, years later, I do understand it now, but at the time I was not. And honestly, it brought me some discouragement because I genuinely wanted to, help within that community. And one of the things that tied me to that was because I had family members who dealt with addictions. I even had some friends who dealt with, addiction. And although I did not, although I did not personally have an addiction that really, took over my life, I knew on the outside looking in, I seen them. And that honestly, it's because of individuals like that in my life, that my heart is very sincere towards people, and it reminds me to see the humanity of them and not what they are being challenged by. Because let's be honest here, these issues happen to some of, to those who deem and look very, very normal, not knowing that behind the scenes, they too are struggling, and they are so highly functioning in their addiction that they can't go to work. Right. I've seen both sides of the coin. I've seen, some people get taken out of here, mentally taken out of here by addictions of all kinds. Right. And so again, that is something that very well pricks my heart. So as you can, like I said, we are talking about evolving. I want to bring you all a little bit closer to me, and I'm actually engaging you all a lot more this year. And there is right now on our socials a post asking you, what does it mean for you? What does evolving look like to you? What does that mean for you? And if you could be so kind to go ahead and interact with that post, I would love it. I don't know where that little voice just came from, but yeah. So I am bringing this Tuesday thought to you on January 2nd. Like I said, it's the first Tuesday of the year, so I'm going to dive into another something. Is that, first of all, it is World Introvert Day. So happy Introvert Day to all of my once fellow introverts. Okay. Some of you have heard me over the years talk about me being an introvert, and can I bring you in a little closer, on my beeswax, and talk to you just a little bit about that. Although I'm celebrating it, and I'm also, wait for it, I'm also renouncing being an introvert. I know, you don't want to see me go. I understand that I will even still have some qualities relative to the introvert life, but still I am, I realize this is why I am renouncing it. And if you've been following me sometime, I hinted on this last month a little bit, but let me bring you up to speed. One, again, I want you to go ahead and engage with that post. It's evolving and asking you, what does it mean for you? Not by the definition, because I'm going to give that to y'all on Thursday, right? But I want you to give me your personal definition of what does it mean to evolve. And it's perfect as a topic because it's the top of the year. So brand new you, you know what I mean? Maybe you got a new cell phone or whatever, new cell phone number. Maybe, you know what, just got ripped out the plastic, so you're acting brand new. Tell me what that evolved process looked like for you. Okay, that's what I want to know. But anywho, so this renouncing an introvert part, and I decided to do this on World Introvert Day because it's a coming away for me, but I'm okay with that, one. But also because I want to, maybe you are the introvert listening in right now who is like me, right? You became a self-proclaimed introvert for different reasons, right? Because it can happen for any reasons. Or you really are just an introvert. But I'm going to share with you how I thought I was one. And I'm now coming, into several years of life, a couple of decades, triple decades of life, and realizing that my introvertness or my introverted behaviors came from a place of actually needing to leave behind responsibility, right? Which is why I have, decided, I'm not going to attach this label to me any longer. I remember being in my older 20s and having a moment just of what I thought was a fleeting thought, right? About labels and branding and just all these things. I remember walking past somebody. I don't know if they had a whole lot of tattoos or if they was just like geared up. It was one of the two, right? And keep in mind while I'm telling this story, I don't want you to think that I was being judgmental towards this person. It's just when I seen them, I had this, it was then I had this thought. But how I have felt about labels in general has been my mindset for a very long time. I can say maybe since I was in middle school. So maybe I should give you that background. When I was in middle school, I went to school with a lot of individuals whose parents were able to afford name brand materials. They kept their hair done, and they had every new shoe. They always came to school with new clothes. Maybe they were able to play, in makeup and all of that stuff. It was just always, some of them were a lot of them actually were 2-parent households, right? Or their parents seemed to have been well off. So to wear, Nike brand new Jordans, or, have the freshest polo or Tommy girl or, Tommy Hilfiger, the latest chains, any of that stuff seemingly, looked like it came easy to them. But me on the opposing side of that, I came from a large family, and my mom just wasn't able. She wasn't rolling like that. Okay, she just wasn't. Now that doesn't mean she kept us like bummy looking or anything like that. She did the best she could with what she had, and she made sure that we were sheltered well and had something, food to eat and all the things. She gave us what was necessity. Okay, and so when it came to labels, I just never really gravitated towards them like that. Because truth be told, everything has a label. The Hanes t-shirt you might be rocking right now, fella, that white tee, that crispy black tee, whatever, it has a label. So for me, that was just like a common sense factor. Like, okay, it wasn't name brand. It wasn't FUBU for my time, or like I said, Adidas or Hilfiger or anything like that, but it has a label. And so for that reason, I didn't really gravitate towards them, even as an adult. Now, speeding you up, when I said I came across this individual, that was the background, came across this individual who had, tats or a fresh fit or whatever it was. And I was just like, they had a brand on them. That's what it was. It was a brand because they were in a fraternity. And I realized how that branding of their skin was a permanent decision. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And sometimes we do things in excitement and, sometimes from peer pressure or wanting to be liked or whatever the reason is that you delve into, labels, right? That for it sometimes it leads to permanent decisions. Like that was a permanent scar. And I remember thinking in my early to mid 20s, like for whatever reason, it triggered my heart posture to wonder about what God thought about us branding ourselves. Mind you, I am one who has tattoos. So, some of us get tattoos for, different reasons, for, to create memories or bond with your best friends or your boo, your bae, or whatever it is. It's a form of branding. And I remember growing up and it's being condemned for getting tattoos and stuff like that. Because they say you get so many tattoos and you mess around, you get up to heaven and God don't know who you are because he can't recognize you and blah, 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 blah. Just religiosity of a thing, right? And that's how I felt at that time. Now, talking about, just being one, evolving and branding and bringing it back to why I even brought those stories up as not as an intercessor, but as an introvert, I started looking at why I became an introvert, how it was, like what made me go inside myself and create this different world of comfort that could not be lived outside of me, right? Because ultimately that's what it is. Like I said, we like silence, we like quiet time, we like being by ourselves. We don't get, sometimes we can be overstimulated by certain environments or people or whatever. Any introvert that you go up to, you may get a different reason as to why they declare themselves one. Me, I liked and love quiet. I don't like to be overly stimulated. But for me, when I started going and diving into the history and like how I realized that I was actually Like becoming an introvert was a coping mechanism for me. And when I like every story that came to mind, whether it was not I was reading or enjoying music in my own time, or deciding to hang out in libraries and Barnes and Nobles, and I had a lot of introverted activities, but each of them came after I had been overstimulated by my household. Like I said, I come from a rather large family, and my brothers and my sister, we are 6 different personalities for sure. Like none of us are the same. Like you put us in a room together and you're going to see all of it. You're going to catch it all. And it's very interesting to watch it unfold. But, as I am also in my family dynamic, I'm the eldest. And so I'm the eldest, and my mom, at the time was a single parent. So whatever responsibilities that she couldn't immediately take care of because say she was at work, or maybe she was, taking care of responsibilities as, a leader within the church. At the time, those things would then fall on me until she could return, right back home for that hour or two, or however long it was for. And so whenever the other adult came in the house, boom, I got the zoomies and I'm gone. I'm hiding out in camp. You're not going to find me. I'm not going to be down. Don't look for me. Saturday mornings, I slept in until 10 o'clock if I could, because that was my time. Don't bother me. Okay. Before 10 o'clock. As a child, like those were my rules. And if it was interrupted, if my sleep was interrupted, I had a huge attitude. Like I said, I was coping from responsibility. I found myself, when I would be gone and just hanging with my best friend, or even if I was by my godmother's house, like they were like, I'm not doing anything this weekend, but you can come over if you want to. I'm like, that's cool. I just want to chill. That was escapism, right? So I had all these things that I would do to find solitude or to internalize journaling, right? Before I utilized journaling to even talk to the Lord, I was just journaling. I was the girl with the diary. Like my best friend and I, we shared this notebook, and we would write to each other throughout the day in this notebook. And we had each other locker combinations. So let's say I was responding to something she wrote, I would then take it and put it in her locker so she'll get it. And then when she responded, she'll take it and she'll put it in my locker. Like that was our thing. It was a purple notebook. I will never forget it. Then I remember looking in at that notebook years later. I was like, dude, what were we even talking about? The wildest of things, right? And so as I have come to evolve, I wanted to renounce it because I realized that on this very nationwide is on your side, holiday of Introverts Day, that although I had my way of escapes, I also do enjoy people when I am around them. If I am comfortable with you, you get every bit of me. If I'm yet learning you or learning the atmosphere in which I am in, you get you may receive an apprehensive version of me, or a very quieted person. And because I'm observing what it is that I'm getting to. And sometimes I have to be careful with that so I'm not so deep that I am unrelatable, right? And but the truth is, I do, when I am around people, for the time I am with them, I enjoy it a lot. I love to laugh. I love to play games if I can get involved with them. I love to watch other people interact. Like I like people watching. That was one of my introvert activities I did with my best friend. People watching. But where I am, as I again in this new metamorphosis, right? In this metamorphosis we call life, who I am aging into in this new stage, or coming into in this new stage of life, will require more of that. more of, individuals seeing me enjoy life, because I don't always share. I do believe in discretion. And discretion, not because I am, doing something wrong or something that can't be seen before others. It's just, people are crazy. But outside of people being crazy, it's a matter of like, I don't have to share everything. But I do want you to see that I am very humanistic, right? I don't want to paint an ideal picture. I do want to show you imperfections. So, some days you'll see me post. I got pictures with, if you go on YouTube, within our shorts, you will see footage actually of me crying and, writing and planning and, worshiping. I'm becoming a little bit more raw, because too many people have painted perfection. And although I've shared a plethora of stories with you all down through the years, I have not shown you my vulnerability in my face. Because, baby, I got a strong, ugly cry. And granted, sometimes that's not seen. But you know what? Who knows who would heal, of the person whose life would be touched and heal, because you know what? They're not just listening. Now they can see it. And for whatever it is that I do want the Lord to get the glory from it. So, if I boast in anything, I will boast in the Lord this year. Okay, so I'm going to close it off here. And I am going to hope and pray that this journey, this leg of the journey, you like, yeah, come on, sis, do your thing. And if you don't agree, that's cool. I will still offer whatever the Lord gives from my heart. That will not change. It will not change. But I am so looking forward to evolving with you all this year, and more specifically in the month of January, because evolving is our theme, and we have several different topics and conversational points that will stem from what it means to evolve. Legit, for our Tuesday thoughts. So our Tuesday thoughts will always start the conversation, and we'll finish it off on Thursdays in our podcast. So yeah, man, find us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram. We are now on YouTube. We are Insights to Strength on all platforms. We are also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I think it's called Bean Pod. We are on Spotify as well, and I'm really enjoying the updates that they've done on Spotify. So listen, if there is a question that you want to submit, or if you're listening to this on Tuesday and you want your response to be a part of or included on our Thursday episode relative to the podcast, or to the thought of what does it mean to evolve, submit your inquiries. There is a voice memo option after the podcast for you to respond to audibly. And then you can, as a seeker on IG or Facebook, you can also submit your response there. And if you're shy, child, go ahead and inbox me. Old fashioned, email us at insightstostrength@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. As always, keep praying, keep pressing, and stand tall. And happy 2024. Hey, seekers. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. You could even send a voicemail by clicking the link in our show notes. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at Insights to Strength. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.